Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Baseball Diaries. It is a Wednesday night. It is the last week of the regular season. We are closing in on the end.
Spicy.
Playoff baseball is about to start. And it's getting weird. It's getting weird.
Real fucking weird.
However, I will extend a sincere thank you to the Tigers to proving us not crazy.
Yes.
Thank you,
Tigers.
Tigers.
Spot as of now. They're not completely in. They're not locked.
They're not locked in.
But it's looking pretty good. Tonight they might be able to clinch.
Let's extend an express thank you shout out to the Minnesota Twins, who haven't had an extra base hit since August 17th. That is an MLB record.
Yep.
Genuinely impressive. I have no idea how they've done that.
That's over a month.
Yeah.
That's a month in a week.
That's a month and a week without a double.
5
Even
weeks.
A hustle double. Like a hustle double? You couldn't get a hustle double?
And it's not like it's a player. It's not like it's a player. It's the whole fucking team. Nobody had a home run for 5 straight weeks?
Dude, Target Field must be the most boring ballpark on earth.
Right now, yeah.
They're just kind of like, huh.
And
if our pitcher doesn't throw a complete game shutout, we're losing this game. Because we need 4 straight singles for him.
You know what's funny is this is surprising for me with the Twins, but if you said this same exact thing 3 weeks ago and it was the Mariners, I'd be like, that makes sense.
And now Julio Rodriguez is one player of the week.
Finally, it took him the entire literally year.
This is his slowest start ever, and somehow he decided to kick it into gear in the last week of the season, which is genuinely impressive for a guy who's notoriously a slow starter, for a guy only 3 years into his career. When's he going to wait for next year? The playoffs?
Yeah.
You're not going to make it.
And you know what's going to suck is they might not make the playoffs this year. And I'm sure the manager's hey, dipshit, if you would have gotten this going fucking 3/4 of the way through the season, we probably would have made the playoffs.
Completely true. But you're also if you're in the Mariners position, you're probably better off not making the playoffs because your GM likely gets fired.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And you would hope for that, because what are you going to do? Oh, Castellanos hit a homer tonight, by the way.
Thanks, good to know.
Play the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it did make it a 4-0 ball game.
Oh, even better. This
one account I follow,
I pride myself and think of myself as
dubbed over
man of faith.
This and
no
put
way.
right field in this with the video of his ball going out. I'll send it to you after.
Please do. 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again.
So I don't know what tragedy happened today, but I'm sorry to the people.
Just
suffering.
The American presidential election.
Yeah, true.
Oh, someone actually on Twitter proposed uniting the states, all of the states in the Caucasus Mountains. They're trying to speed run genocide, apparently. There. So that might have been enough of a tragedy.
Okay. So we know what happened.
That might have been enough. If you don't know what the Caucasus Mountains are, do your own historical research.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot of shit you probably don't want to know. Anyways, the Orioles are playing the Yankees. I have a friend at the game right now. Apparently, the Yankees are shooting themselves in the foot at every opportunity, which is good for the Orioles. However, this gets into our next news and note. That team is a one and done in the playoffs. It's hook, line, and sinker at this point. Grayson Rodriguez is out for the rest of the year with a lat strain.
Yeah.
They're done. You have Corbin Burns and then Dean Kramer.
Actually, Zach Eflin. Zach Eflin's been good for them.
Hasn't been bad, but it's I don't trust that rotation against
probably
anyone in the AL.
I'm gonna since we're doing a quicker episode, I'm gonna interwave this together. Since we're on this news note and we talk about the Orioles anyways, they've clinched the playoffs, and technically they could still win the division, but the Yankees would have to lose all of their games, and the Orioles would have to win all of their games.
It would take a miracle.
It would take with yesterday's win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins for the Orioles and 6 straight losses for the Yankees.
I'm not saying the Orioles aren't capable of 6 straight wins, because they certainly are.
They definitely are.
I don't think the Yankees are losing 6 straight.
No,
I don't know
who the Yankees play after the Orioles.
After the Orioles series, it's a 3-game series.
Yeah,
It
it's
has
another
to be
3
another
games.
3.
Oh, and it's against Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh already sold the season. They DFA'd Rowdy Tellez today, right
They
ahead
did
of
him
him.
dirty. Dirty.
He was what, 4 plate appearances away from a $200,000 bonus.
Yep. Dirty.
4 plate appearances. That technically could be one game. And they were just like, yeah,
most
get the
likely
hell out
that's
of here.
one game. That's one game.
Yeah. So that I didn't like.
But yeah, I agree. Orioles likely one and done in the playoffs, unfortunately, because we've been so high on them all season long.
I mean, I think both of us picked them to go to the World Series because it looked like this was going to be the start of a very dominant team, and right now it just doesn't look that way. Like they didn't make the right moves at the deadline. We've criticized them for that. They don't have the pitching staff to match up with anyone. I mean, dude, I wouldn't even pick them over the Rangers in a playoff series right now.
No, I mean they don't look they don't look good. Like they
and
look
that's
really
simply
bad.
on the weight of the pitching staff. Like, I know the Rangers have been one of the coldest teams in baseball all season, but like.
But also think about if the Rangers were in the playoffs, you still got to go DeGrom, Scherzer, Eovaldi, Kumar Rocker, and then Jack Leiters. You're like,
it's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah,
and
it's unfortunate because we were so high on them this year.
Well, and the thing is, their window is going to be open for a long time, so it's not really a problem. But it's also like,
but this would have been the
really
nice jumping off point.
Chance this year.
Yeah,
you fluffed a chance this year,
especially because Burns is a free agent after this year. So this year, if you lose Corbin Burns next year, that's a big deal, like a really big deal. So
they can't lose Corbin Burns next year. If they lose Corbin Burns, this team's floating in.
Well, and then to me, if they lose Corbin Burns,
limbo.
If this team loses Corbin Burns or doesn't sign an equivalent, let's say, because they could, if let's say they lose Corbin Burns and they go out and they sign who's a free agent at the end of the year, that's a dominant pitcher, Blake Snell, let's say. Okay, and I still don't put them on the same playing field.
No, I wouldn't.
But I'd say that's a comparable enough to where I'd be like, okay, the front office hasn't completely shit the bed, like. But also this front office is supposed to be the front office to change the narrative of the Orioles to we're going to spend money and we're going to make this a World Series caliber team. And right now they haven't shown that at all.
Yeah. And I'd say this before we move on from the Orioles. If you're serious about winning a World Series with this core, you need to re-sign Corbin Burns and you need to sign Blake Snell. You need both.
Yeah. You do.
You need 2 frontline starters that can go out there and just dominate. Like,
because we don't know what Kyle Bradish is coming back.
Yeah, because Kyle Bradish might not be back until like now,
August next
year.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And that's being a little bit more cautious. But this is a guy that you need to be cautious with because he's been hurt, not just Tommy John. It's like it's been shoulder issues, lat issues, whatever. You need to be careful with him because is that guy capable of being a number 1? Yes. Is he capable of being a dominant, like scary dominant number 2? Absolutely.
Yes. But you can't rely on it right now.
You can't rely on him right now. And I don't trust Gray Rod as your 3.
No.
I don't.
No.
He hasn't rewarded you with anything that's like, yeah, this is our number 3.
Could he be your 4? Could he be your 4? Yes. Could he be? And would he be a
very
good 4?
He would be a very good 4.
But like as your 3 right now, it's like he's an average 3. Like he's an average.
Yeah, he's an average 3, and it's like the issues that plagued him in the minor leagues. That's the one thing. Like they talked about before when it was that 2 pitchers at the top of the minor league reports that were like, who are the best like projectable pitchers for the MLB? There's a reason Painter was ranked above Rodriguez, and it's because his control and his pitch mix was better.
Yeah.
And Rodriguez hasn't figured that out yet, and I don't think he needs a stint in AAA to figure it out, but he needs a confidence boost.
Exactly.
Like he needs
I think getting him
like 4 or 5 dominant starts against a worse starter.
Yeah.
To get his confidence to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm that guy."
Yeah.
Because pitching, agree. Like you're a pitcher. Pitching is a huge confidence game.
Oh, it's all confidence. Every batter that steps in the batter's box, you have to think that I'm going to strike this fucking guy out. And I don't care if he's taking me deep. That's why when the Garrett Cole situation happened where he put him on first base, that's why my big issue is I am, as a pitcher, I don't like that as your frontline
You
starter
can't show
telling
fear.
any batter that
You can't show
yeah,
fear.
you own me. No, you can't. Like, and it could be true. That batter can own you, but when they step in the batter's box, you can't think that. Like,
Yeah, no, because then they're gonna continue to own you. Because dude, like you could have started a streak right there if you're Garrett Cole. You could have started a streak right there where Rafael Devers, who has been cold as shit, you could have started a
and now he's
streak
hurt.
against
Now
him
he's out for the
where
season.
you strike him out every time after that.
Yeah, and he's got the stuff to do it. Like,
he absolutely does. Anyways, moving on from that, what's the next talking point you want to hit?
Let's go quickly into. So the Mariners are playing the Astros right now in a series. They can't take the division. The Astros have already clinched the division, but they did win today, which is keeping the Mariners' playoff hopes alive. They're 2 games back. It's getting 2 games back
It's
is
getting
now
spicy in the AL.
far. Yes, it's getting very spicy in the AL. In the AL, you've got the Tigers who they haven't clinched a playoff spot, but they could today or tonight, I believe. If they win, I believe. No, that's not true.
I really hope they clinch a playoff spot this week because then it's like we get vindicated.
Exactly.
Like we get vindicated because
they need to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we picked them to win the division, but they traded away their second best starter, and then they were just like, you know what? It's time to catch fucking fire.
Yep. So in
Dumbest
the
thing
AL,
ever.
yep. In the AL right now, you
dumbest
got
logic.
Right now in the AL, you got the Baltimore Orioles have pretty much clinched up the first wild card spot. Then you got the Tigers, the Royals in the next 2 wild card spots. Then you got the Twins that are 2 games back, and the Mariners that are 2 games back also. And the Royals are 3-7 in their last 10, and so are the Twins, while the Mariners are 6-4 in their last 10.
It's getting spicy.
It's getting real spicy. And then, so that's just talking about the American League. Now, National League, this is where
it's getting spicy.
Extra spicy. So, right now, the Mets and the Braves were supposed to play today. It's already been rained out for tomorrow. So, tomorrow they're supposed to play a doubleheader. Forecast is saying, most likely, that game's also getting rained out, which means they both go on to play another series against some other team. They would have to play a doubleheader the day before the wild card series, which either of them would have to play in. Well, there is a world where only one of them gets in. Well, actually, pretty much no matter what, only one of them is getting in most likely. And
yeah,
it's
so
probably
they're
going to be due to that.
A doubleheader on the day before.
Most likely.
Like, look, could this realistically mean nothing? Yes, if they go into those other series and say
they
I don't
pull
know
ahead
what
by
it
2.5
is
games or 2 games.
Yeah, if they put it out of reach.
Well,
fine.
The only way it would happen. So
don't?
the only way it could happen. I'm looking at it right now. So let's say tomorrow they don't play at all. The only way it could happen is if the Mets lose, if the Braves lose 2 games and the Mets lose, and the Mets win 2 of their games. So if that happens, then the Mets will be 2.5, or they'll be 2.5 above. So that series will mean nothing. But I don't see that happening because the Braves are playing the Royals, who have, as I've just said, are playing. Oh shit! No, it's official. They've postponed it to on Monday. They're having a doubleheader.
Hear me out. We were talking about this before. Played in a neutral site, and by neutral site I mean Philadelphia, and by neutral site I mean negative site
for both teams.
Phillies fans booing every single pitch, just being there to hate on both of them.
Home run hit by Matt Olson. Boo! Home run hit by Francisco Lindor.
Ball
Boo!
chucked back into the infield. Hits Lindor while he's running the bases.
Make it dollar dog night. Fuck it.
That's a great fucking idea.
Dollar dog and dollar beer night.
Oh god.
If we do that though, blooper's gonna be dead. Night. If they do that, blooper will be dead.
That's always the goal.
And probably Mr. Met will be dead also. Like,
yeah, it's gonna look like it'll be those two would both be like scattered across the stadium.
yeah. They couldn't. Okay. Second thought. Legally, we cannot do this.
No, legally, this is not possible.
No, completely not possible.
It be funny?
It'll end up like
would it be funny? We're saying this because it's funny. We're not saying this because it's actually a rational thought.
No, because what would end up happening is that both the mascots would end up like the robot hitchhiker that got beheaded.
Yeah, it would end up like Hitchbot.
Which, if you don't know the story of Hitchbot, that is a hysterical story. It's a great story.
Look it up.
Putting it in a 10,000-foot view. What happened was they built this hitchhiker to hitchhike across. Where did it go across Europe?
It went
right?
from coast to coast in Canada. Like
Canada.
Relying on human cooperation.
Yes.
Coast to coast in Canada, was immediately beaten to death in Philadelphia.
First thing, like, didn't even make it to didn't make it to one car.
Didn't make it to a car. It was beaten with a blunt object, stabbed, shot with a paintball gun, stabbed again, and then beaten with another blunt object.
Which just describes Philly for you. So
that's Philly.
So I was thinking, this is what I would, in my crazy mind, what I would want to happen is that series comes up on Monday, and either the Mets or the Braves are 2 games ahead of the other, and then they lose the next 2 games. Because then what do you do? Because then they're tied, and one of them's got to get in. Do you do a doubleheader on Wild Card Day?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because one of them has to get in. Like, there's no other team.
What do you do there?
Like, coin flip? Like, I don't know. Because, I mean, I feel like there's probably a rule, because before they used to have the rule of, whoever had it used to be, they did run differential for a while, whoever had the better run differential, and then they also have done, who had the better record against each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay. I don't know which rule it is, but I know it's one of them. But if I'm Rob Manfred, I'm making it a 7 a.m. doubleheader.
That would be hysterical. Here is my suggestion. Bench clearing brawl, no holds barred between both teams. Whoever survives gets in.
Braves are going. Braves are getting in.
Well, they have Ozuna, so he's probably going to drive a car on the field.
Ozuna from the Braves. Except for the sad thing is he'd be drunk and he'd hit the umpire. He wouldn't hit any of the players. Be like, you're so close. We thought your drunk driving would finally come in handy. I was going to say
something, but I can't say that on air.
Yeah,
I was going to say something. I can't say it on air. I was gonna name a certain umpire that I would be like,
yeah.
The one that's not retired. That's almost as bad. If you can get my implication, you get my implication.
Yeah, I got your implication. Yeah.
That's besides the point. Anyways,
after that,
Padres clinched the playoff berth.
Yes, they did.
Good for the Padres. I mean, okay, that was expected at this point. They're dangerous. I want to see them play the Dodgers in the NLDS.
They're playing the Dodgers right now. They're playing the Dodgers right now.
I want to see them play them in the NLDS.
Well, the reason I say that, that's important,
because they could still take that division.
They're 2 games back, and they won yesterday, and they have 2 more games against the Dodgers. Tonight's game 2. They win tonight. That division gets interesting. One game, and they play the Padres going to play the Diamondbacks, which makes it a little tougher for them because the Diamondbacks are also a good team, and then the Dodgers of course play the Rockies. The Dodgers
play the Rockies. Look at me though.
Things have happened.
Look at me though.
We've said it. We've said it before on the pod.
Tell me that the Rockies taking 2 out of 3 in Charlie Blackmon's final series
to knock the Dodgers out.
Spoiler,
well, not to knock them out, but to have the Padres leap them in the division.
That would be insane television.
It would. Yes, and actually that gets us to another news and note.
Love that.
Charlie Blackmon is retiring. Officially, he's retiring after this season.
Okay, we also called for him to never end up at the Yankees, so this is good in general.
Yes, this is good in general. Charlie Blackmon spent his entire career with the Rockies. Ends his career with a career .293 batting average, .832 OPS. Was 5th in the MVP voting once, 4-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger. So, hell of a career for Charlie Blackmon.
A hell of a career.
You got one more thing you got to do. Amazing guy. But you got one more thing to do. Let the Padres leapfrog the Dodgers and have them be the number 1 seed.
God, that would be so poetic. Not because it would go against the picks that we made at the beginning of the season, but because it would be absolutely hilarious if with that offense they didn't win the division.
Yes, with that team, they didn't win the division.
Yeah. And then also, I thought this is on the Charlie Blackmon thing. I thought it was really cool that Nolan Arenado went to his press conference. I thought that was really cool.
That was really cool as well. Moving on from there, the Oakland A's are now playing their last series in Oakland.
They had a walk-off win last night.
Honestly, it's just heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if you saw Dallas Braden's talk about it on his Instagram today, but
every single time I've seen his videos, it's always been heartbreaking, so it's hard for me to watch him at this point.
Yeah, it is, because it's just like, man, that guy bleeds green and gold, just like basically that entire city. And John Fisher is literally prying it away from them.
And he released a letter today. And I mean, Trevor May tore him up, too.
Good. I need to see that video.
Trevor, I don't think it was a video. I think Trevor May quoted the letter on Twitter and said,
I need to see that tweet then.
John Fisher, with all due respect, which is more than you deserve.
True.
And then just kind of tore into his ass. And I loved it. I thought it was great because I was like, hell yeah, Trevor May. You only spent 2 years there? Great that you hate that guy too. Everyone should.
Yep.
Also, side news and note, can we ban Zach Campbell? He caught Aaron Judge's 56 home run ball. Get that guy out of baseball stadiums. Stop it. What the hell is this guy still doing here?
Yeah. I know there's no actual ground to be able to ban him, but man, it's one of the.
It's probably true.
Okay, let's go back to a topic that I can actually.
CJ Abrams, one of us.
One of us. He's one of the boys. CJ Abrams was caught at the casino at 8 a.m. the day of the baseball game.
He was with JB.
He was with JB. People are gonna be like, "Who the hell is JB?" He's a guy.
I hope JB hears this specific episode.
Just to know that he was gambling with CJ Abrams at 8 a.m. and then he was released, not released, but sent down to AAA, literally right afterwards.
You know what was really funny about that? The Nats lineup card immediately after, because of course it was released with a BetMGM advertisement on it. And I was like, well, that's interesting.
Interesting that you send a guy down for gambling when he wasn't gambling on baseball. I mean, he probably wasn't making the smartest decisions being out until 8 a.m. gambling.
He was leading off the game in 5 hours.
That is so crazy. But you know what? One of us.
I thought it was hysterical. The photos of him at the table were so funny because
they were great.
This guy was dead fucking tired. You could see it in his eyes. That time where it's too late and you're just well, I'm still here. And it's go to bed. Just go to bed.
Look,
man, you lead off a game in 5 hours.
He was about to go on. He was going to go on the most historical tear ever and miss the game soon. He was one hand away.
Come on.
All right.
The photo coming out of it was just that was too perfect.
Hysterical.
It was too perfect.
Hysterical. Okay.
Someone photoshopped Ipe into that, so that was great.
I did see that too.
That was great.
Cardinals, real quick. Quickest thing I can say about the Cardinals. They're not in the playoffs. They've been mathematically eliminated, just like I thought they'd be in April.
And you don't have to comment on the pitching staff anymore because
I don't have to
you were
comment
right.
on anything because
Congrats.
I was right. Thank you. I'll take my bow.
Am I happy for you? No, because this sucks. But whatever. At least you were proven correct. Yeah. You had that. So,
Phillies
won their first division title since 2013. Well, no, 2011. It's been 13 years. I'm getting the dates confused. Yeah, it's Jesus, dude. I was in middle school the last time we won a division title. It was great. I was ecstatic. They played the hangover game yesterday, and they played hangover baseball.
Yeah. But you know what I loved about all of that, by the way, was the owner in the locker room after the game with the quote of the fucking century.
I want my fucking trophy.
Oh, that is the type of ownership I want in a fucking team.
That is the only type of ownership you should have in baseball.
Exactly.
It's the only type of ownership you should have in baseball.
Middleton's
been a Phillies fan his whole life, and I mean, thank God he's the owner, because oh my God, I couldn't deal with a personality type like 54%. The Fishers. Well, that too. But like the Fishers, could you imagine if the Oakland A's were still the Philadelphia A's? Fisher wouldn't be alive right now.
No,
like I'm just
he wouldn't,
flat on his face. He just wouldn't be alive right now.
No, not happening.
Because this city does not accept that kind of mentality. Never will, never has. And
I love that about Philly.
Middleton is just he's just one of us. That's the best way to describe it. And guy was getting champagne sprayed in his face, didn't have the goggles on.
Mm-hmm. And he's the owner of the team. He's owner of the team.
Owner of the team. And he's always out there. Like, dude, he shags fly balls in spring training all the time. He goes out in the outfield before games. That's who you want as an owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad he's my team's owner.
Yep. I mean, he's even said he doesn't care. He doesn't care about making money as much on the team. He wants to win baseball games. That is the ownership I want.
Exactly. And he's just the best, because Phillies fans will go up to him and say, hey, next offseason you should sign Juan Soto. And he'll be like, if he hits free agency, who knows?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because what are you looking to do? As a baseball team, you're always looking to get better.
Yep.
You sign Juan Soto, you're immediately better.
No matter who you have on your team, you're better. Like there's not a team that he could go on where he doesn't make them better.
Uh-huh. Who cares if he's a black hole in whatever corner outfield position he plays?
Yeah, that's true.
He's gonna hit $6 million. He'll be fine.
This episode is gonna be short, like we said, because it's kind of just we gotta wait to see what happens.
We already talked about the Orioles, and we even talked about the Astros and the Mariners.
Yep.
I'm not going to say anything about the Mariners. Bryce Miller's electric, though. I will give him that.
Nasty.
Bryce Miller is
nasty.
Electric as hell. He also has 7 pitches now, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, he switched up his pitch mix from last year to this year. Last year he was mostly fastball dominant. Now he throws 7 pitches at 10% of the time each, and you're just like, okay, I'll just guess.
Shit, I guess I'm guessing.
Yeah, and that splitter's disgusting. Splitter's absolutely disgusting.
He's got a 10-plus run saved on that one pitch, which is impressive because it's top 5 in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Good shit, Bryce Miller.
We have another guy who has a nasty splitter who is on his first time on Say No to Walks, and he's the only one this week.
It's a shame they only let him go 5 innings.
I know.
Livy Dunn's boyfriend.
Yes, Livy Dunn's boyfriend. Livy Dunn's boyfriend went 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 9 Ks.
And then the Pirates proceeded to DFA Rowdy Tellez. So, while you get this cool note that he's probably the most dominant rookie starter to appear in the majors in Lord knows how long.
Yep.
The Pirates continue to be... I mean, the Pirates. That's the only way you can describe it. And they have this wonderful, bright, shining star in Paul Skeens, and this dynamic top 3 pitching staff, and you continue to shoot yourselves in the foot by just being stupid.
Yep, that's what they do. It's the Pirates.
Pittsburgh?
I'm just waiting for Pittsburgh to trade away fucking Jared Jones in 2 years.
Okay.
Or I guess it'll be 4 years.
Let's say they go ultra stupid and trade within the division. How much would you, as a Cardinals fan, give up for Paul Skeens and Jared Jones to both be Cardinals? I'm willing to bet you'd sell your whole farm system for that.
Yeah, I probably would. Well, it depends on where the team is currently. If it looks like they just need starting pitch, let's say it's today's game, where it's like, okay, the lineup I trust mostly. I'm like, okay, that lineup is okay. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's good with a good. If you give that team a good, if you
give that team Jared Jones and Paul Skeens,
that's a whole different team now.
Because then you can trot out.
Sonny Gray's a 3. Yeah. Well, 2. I'd actually still put him above Jared Jones. I'd still say he's now.
I'd agree. I'd also prefer to mix it up because you got high velo, pitch mix guy, wicked velo.
Yeah. So I mean, having that as your 1, 2, 3, and then you know what? Fuck it. Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, fine. I guess it's Eric Fetty. Thank God. Okay, Eric Fetty is my 4. I can live with Eric Fetty as my 4, and then Lance Lynn or Kyle Gibson as my 5. I can live with it. I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I can live with it.
No, dude, that would be wicked as hell.
Yeah.
As the Cardinal staff, and I wanted to ask you that because I was like, it seems like a good question to ask because look, man, if I'm in your position, I'm selling the fucking farm for that.
Oh yeah. Well, we don't really have much on farm, but yeah.
No, but okay,
what
the
we
Pirates
do have.
DFA Rowdy Tellez 4 plate appearances from 200K. They'd take some bums. That's just who they are.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, John Moe's gonna sign Tobias Myers and hope that he has a season like this, and you know that might happen. You know that might happen, which is what scares you.
I know, and and all of Cardinals Nation will be like, "Oh my God, we signed this guy with a 3.05 ERA," and I'm gonna be like, "It was the luckiest."
Guarantee that he's going to be worse.
I was like, his expected numbers said that he was the luckiest pitcher in all of baseball last year,
and he definitely is.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to give him any kind of credit.
Oh,
you are the luckiest pitcher in baseball. You piss me off. Just looking at your Savant page physically makes me angry. I get viscerally upset about Tobias Myers. It made you mad when you looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
Expected ERA of 4.2. Yeah, all right.
It was like 4.5. It wasn't even. No, it was like 4.5. And yeah,
whatever the fuck it was bad.
Expected batting average against was like 280.
You deserve this.
Yeah,
you do not deserve this.
It's just the Brewers' devil magic. It's what they do.
I have no idea how they do it, but they somehow do it.
They can play one hell of a fiddle.
I saw their projected starters for the last series, and Colin Ray was projected as their number 1, and I was like, please, for the love of God, send this organization to hell.
Oh, and he's got like a 3.5 ERA right now. He's like, okay,
somehow.
Yep.
Also projected as one of the worst starters in baseball based on his Avant page, and it's just like somehow he has a sub 4.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, oh, all right, well, I guess that works. Whatever.
And their one pitcher that actually has good projected numbers, and Freddie Peralta, is like one of their worst starters this year by ERA, and you're just like,
he probably has close to a 4 compared to these guys.
He's got like a 3. He's got like a 3.5 for his actual ERA, and then
he's their best
projected
pitcher.
numbers. Yeah, and then his projected numbers are actually like 3.0 or something like that, and you're like, see, that makes sense. That one makes sense because he's good. Yeah. He's got good stuff.
One of these is not like the others. Yeah. Somehow they fit a square peg in a circular hole every goddamn year, and it's every starter except the one you're supposed to remember.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, no, you can tattoo our number 1, but everyone else, no, they're shutting you down.
And you're like, who are those guys? You're like, I don't know.
We found him in a bar down the street.
Yeah, that guy's a plumber. Actually, we just picked him up yesterday. That guy, 47-year-old alcoholic, he's the greatest athlete alive.
47-year-old alcoholic in Wisconsin is so likely.
Yeah, that is very likely.
Most bars per capita in the United States.
Everyone knows where to follow us down below. This will be our officially shortest episode ever.
We got shit to do, guys.
We got a lot of things to do. All right. Later, everybody.
Peace.